What's good, Rangers? It's your boy Rains. Today we're going to be watching, reacting, reviewing the 2016 film, Me Before You. Now, I've personally seen this movie many times over. It's actually one of my favorite movies ever. Kind of tied, maybe, I don't know yet. We're going to see after today because we have a double special today. But it's kind of tied with this movie right here, About Time, if you can see with the glare and everything like that. But I've seen this movie plenty of times over. Really looking forward to watching it again with my special guest, Rachel. Have you seen this movie before?
I've seen, I think, the first half of it, but
first half,
I haven't seen the whole thing before.
And do you remember things from it or no?
A little bit.
Okay.
Not that well.
So we're still going to watch it since she hasn't finished it, and I've been dying for her to watch this movie with me. So now we're finally going to do it. As you can see here, I kind of had the original poster, like the bigger one, and I realized this thing again. I realized that I'm quickly running out of space with all the movies that I want, so I downgraded in size so that way I can fit more on there. So expect a lot more posters in the near future. I'm really excited to watch this, but before we jump into it, if you love watching movies as much as I do, if you get energized watching other people's reactions like I do, or if you just want to show me your support, I highly recommend you check out the rest of my channel. I have over 700 movies I'm ready to watch. I just need your help telling me what to prioritize. And if you're really enjoying my reactions, I highly recommend you check out my Patreon link down below where you can see my full-length reaction. More to discuss at the end, but for now, let's lay back, kick our feet up, maybe grab some popcorn, and let's get into it.
No, we're at 6:15.
6:15? Oh, I gotta go.
It's awfully bright for 6:15. My boy Finnick O'Dare from Hunger Games. Emilia Clarke, wifey.
And we can close this. Taxi! Hurry!
He didn't take his motorcycle.
Someone else did. I'm shaking my head. Me Before You. Let's go.
I thought he got hurt in a ski accident. I did not remember that.
No, it was a motorcycle.
Yeah, he looks very like chic finance bro.
All my boys, finance bros.
If you eat them standing up.
Oh, should we put them in a bag?
Yeah.
I think I can finish this. Should we wrap it up for you, Daphne?
She has like the best facial expressions I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like the way she contorts her eyebrows are insane.
Yeah. Oh, she's so pretty.
Who are you telling?
I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I think in the book he was his business wasn't doing too hot. Based on a novel by Jojo Moyes.
Did you read the book?
Yeah, I read it like a year and a half ago.
Oh, is it very similar to the movie?
Yeah, actually, it's probably my favorite book.
Oh wow.
A month's money, given she's worked like a Trojan in that years.
It's closing down, love.
What are you gonna do now? Trina can't get off.
You'll get another job.
There are no jobs.
I
Look, I'm
recognized
just
her
saying,
from something.
we needed that money.
Let's not panic, eh? She'll find something.
They actually did a pretty good job like casting those two. They kind of look alike until they stand next to each other, then they don't. But when they were separated, I thought they did.
Oh, she's in Sex Education.
The mom?
Yeah, I think so.
You know who that is? Have you seen Harry Potter? We might have to watch Harry Potter. That's Neville Longbottom. He had like a big glow up for public opinion.
Sorry, I'm trying to focus on his accent so I can understand.
6-month fixed-term contract. And it's good money. It's actually excellent money. The time they've tried to recruit. They're desperate. And there's nothing on here about needing skills. It's perfect for you.
Yeah. The dress.
Is it how anyone likes to dress?
She looks so good.
It served me very well.
In 1980.
Not in that outfit. I like her regular outfits.
They look both.
Yeah,
Like she
well,
can
I
do
mean,
like she can dress up and just like be like creative. Like she has
Yes.
the capacity to do both at a high level, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's crazy that there's just like a castle in their town.
Thank you.
Wow. He's now gonna work in a sub castle.
You must be Louisa Clarke.
That's crazy. Everyone's wearing pointy heels on freaking gravel.
Bravo.
Please, sit down.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any experience of caregiving?
I've never done it.
Do you have any experience of quadriplegia?
No.
We are talking about complete loss of the legs. Would that bother you?
Not as much as would bother him. Sorry, no, I didn't. No, no, I...
Shorty thick.
Hello, I'm Stephen Will's father.
Louisa Clarke.
Nice to meet you.
Lovely to meet
See you later, darling.
Poor outfit malfunction.
In a book, I don't know if they specify it here, but that's her mom's outfit because she didn't have anything like.
Right.
So, would you like the job?
Yes.
Can you start immediately?
Yes.
Then let's go meet Will.
Right, yeah. Okay,
For whatever reason you're running late, need to leave early, please call and let me know. I must stress, you might want to wear something a little less revealing.
yes, of course.
Before we had it adapted for Will. I'll give you a set of car keys. Nathan will show you how to use the ramp. Tea and coffee. You're welcome to help yourself. He has good days and bad days.
I won't let you down.
Good.
Oh, the music.
He's Station, Mrs. State.
This is Louisa Clarke.
I'm Lou.
Hello, Louisa Clarke. I'm Will Trainer. You appear to have a problem with your skirt.
You're a bear man, Mr. T. G'day. Nathan.
Right. Well, I'll leave you to get on. Nathan will talk you through Will's routines and equipment.
My brain isn't paralyzed. Yet.
Rough first day.
But she's a problem solver.
I'm Lou.
You already said that.
Shall I make us all a cup of tea?
Where's my rent?
Mum, did you turn down the soggy again?
Well, things turn up in...
You got it, didn't you? Louisa Clarke, working for the trainers.
I guess they know who the trainers are. Big, rich family. Oh, she looks so cute. All her outfits.
Tells you pretty much everything you need to know. There's a timetable here so you can see what he has.
I have to handle drugs.
He raise it in the morning when he gets up, 4 times a day to control muscular spasms. Painkillers, if he asks, just try to resist. They tend to make him a little bit, more irritable.
It's a lot to remember.
Well, it's all written down. And you got my number. And most of my other patients are nearby, so... No, don't worry. You're not here for any of the physical stuff.
What am I here for?
To cheer him up, I guess.
Aww.
In one way, it's like easier that's the expectation, but then also harder.
Right. Well, especially because his personality is so difficult.
So I thought we could go out this afternoon.
Where'd you have in mind?
Just for wheelchair use.
And you thought a drive would be good for me. I don't do anything, Miss Clarke. I sit.
Well, I could get you your computer.
The Tin Wheels Club.
Or perhaps we could get to know each other a bit. You could tell me what you do like to do. Maybe.
Here's what I know about you, Miss Clarke. My mother says you're chatty. Can we strike a deal? Unchatty around me.
His face reminds me of like Wallace and Gromit.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, it's a claymation.
I definitely have never seen it then.
I think like an animated character.
Yeah, well, I'll just be in the kitchen if you need anything.
Oh, he hurt her feelings.
She has a lot riding on her too. Like her family is basically
dependent on her having this job.
Your lunch alone. I always thought those were so cool, like the little windows on top of the roof.
I don't have a Patrick, Lou. I need this.
Oh, I get it. You just need me to stay here in my miserable...
Done my fair share.
Oh, yeah?
I can't stay here. You know I can't. For me, I'm Tom.
For her and her boy. Oh, they're so sweet.
And stuff all coming on? Any improvements?
No.
Well, you look great.
Yeah.
So, to what do I owe this pleasure?
I'm sorry it's been so long. I've been so busy.
Yeah, the things are manic at the office. Baines, you ever come across him at all? I can hardly leave my chair, you know.
Ay.
That's the girl from the beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's his wife or something, or?
That was his girlfriend in the first scene.
Right. Okay.
Congratulations.
Neither of us meant for this to happen. We were just friends for ages. Bought after your accident.
Big of it.
Oh,
Big of you.
We should probably go.
His friend.
I'm sorry, Will.
And his
I really am.
ex-girlfriend.
We both are, and I really do hope things improve for you.
Oh my God! Quadriplegic. Cut him out of their life. That's wild. That is wild. He didn't die. She could have stayed with him.
He just pushed me away, didn't want me here. He helps someone who actually wants to be helped.
Maybe she did want to try to help him. He just pushed her away, pushed her away, pushed her away.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Seems like he's pushing everyone away. 2 years. It's a long time.
Yeah! Okay!
The Viking triathlon, 60 miles on a bike,
Bamboozled her.
for Nordic seas. Yeah. Given all of it, sightsee or whatever, have never been fitter, Lou. Is the year to do it.
Aww, he's not prioritizing her. But she's prioritizing fashion.
Coming from Neville Longbottom, I don't blame him. No, let me stop. I still blame him.
Neville?
He was a chunky character in Harry Potter. So when people see this movie, they're like, oh, wow, he really glowed up.
Said I didn't want you here.
I'm employed by your
Period.
mother. She doesn't want me here anymore. I'm staying. But because I need the money.
The mother of dragons, folks.
Just put them in the drawer.
Life is bigger than you, Will. Stop making her life miserable. She's just a girl trying to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is not about you and your injury. And maybe that's making him reflect.
Hey, look, a reflection. Look at that.
He's reflecting. I mean, it really does suck, but it clearly is nothing that makes him want to get out of bed.
Well, they could have left.
Chose to stay.
Gave their lives more meaning, but that's...
But you don't agree.
To sacrifice themselves like that.
But you like the film.
I loved it.
Aww.
I swear to God, I'll push you out that chair.
I'm not laughing. Sky's clearing. Should we get some air?
Oh my gosh.
Patrick's your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Impressive list of hobbies.
And I like clothes. I don't do much, okay?
Wow. Your life's even duller than mine.
That's the crazy insult.
Ay.
Tell me all about you offering him the pasta with green gravy.
Never had pesto sauce before.
Nah, whatever. It's a long time since he's laughed at anything.
Aww.
Will's body no longer works.
Yeah, but he's still trying, right?
He threw everything into physio that first year. Then the first bout of pneumonia hit. Right, so his blood pressure goes up and down.
Yeah. There's medical advances taking place all the time, right?
But no one's worked out how to fix a spinal cord yet.
He can't get better.
Gives her a little context on why he's the way he is.
Oh, I hear this one's good.
Well, he speaks Spanish.
No, it's got subtitles.
2 for the Will Ferrell, please.
Aww. It's winter time at the castle.
So we got subtitles being popular now. Now we just need to popularize watching things on a faster speed.
Do they watch things at a faster speed?
No, I do.
Oh.
I'm ahead of my time.
I see.
Put your hand under my head, on my neck, and just lift gently.
What have I done?
Your hands are freezing. Better.
Can I get you some painkillers?
Yeah. Thank you.
In the book, his dad be cheating on his mom.
Really?
Or I guess, I don't know if it's technically the word cheating, but because I don't know if they're technically separated, but they just haven't finalized it. But yeah, he went to go see a woman.
Aww.
G'day, this is Nathan.
Good
Leave a
day.
message and I'll call you back.
Don't ring, Mum.
What?
We'll be fine, Clarke.
He knew his mom would pick up. That snow looks like it was in slow motion.
Yeah.
Will, quick. Hey, buddy, you alright? You alright? Look at you, mate, come on.
What is that?
Lou, you gotta watch what I'm doing.
The healing of him slitting his wrist. So she noticed that he tried to kill himself.
Oh.
In the book, I think that's why they started hiring people like her. Because he tried to...
He gives you that.
He went under like
context.
a desk. Yeah, he went under a desk and
Oh no.
and they saw him bleeding out. And so I think from that point on in the book, they hired someone to look after him.
Oh, now it's clear why he was so mean to everyone. He tried really hard to get better and then found out he can't get better at all and didn't want to live. Oh.
She's about to watch Me Before You.
Oh, that's literally the...
A few people out there who can claim to have
That's the best friend that took his girlfriend.
Right.
Thank God he's not good looking.
You're watching French gay porn, I hope.
Wi-Fi connection's not strong enough. 8:30, he had to go to another patient. Snow got pretty bad.
Shouldn't you be at home?
He's stuck with me.
Oh no. I'm stuck with Emilia Clarke. How terrible.
Is that her real name? Clarke?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Should have shared like the last name in this film. I think you're just missing the E in the book or in here.
Tell me something good.
I used to say that to my dad.
Oh, that ship has sailed, Clarke.
Or something he used to sing. He used to sing the Mulahonky song. The Mulahonky song. I thought everyone knew it.
I'm a Mulahonky virgin.
You're gonna make me sing it now.
Oh no.
And I refused to take them off. In the bath, glittery boots and my bumblebee tights.
God.
I really, really, really liked having...
Gorgeous wellies and stripy tights.
I outgrew them. And they don't make those tights anymore, not for... Oh, you can mock. Didn't you ever love anything that much?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Sad.
Whenever I see books in like movies, I want to like add them to a list and see if I should read that book.
Oh yeah.
They get this kind of pinched face to actually mean and and know that every day he goes into the office and looks at the young men and feels like somehow he...
Look at her eyebrows. Jesus Christ.
That we had 6 months to change his mind. That you are willing to help our son end his life.
Camilla, he meant it. You know that.
He's my son!
Yes, he's my son too! Choice. This is what he wants. You know how much pain he's in.
They seem like a real couple. Like, I don't know if it's just because they're both foreign, but...
He gave me 6 months. We can still persuade him.
And do you think the pretty waitress is going to do that?
Talk about pressure.
He said, how do you think the pretty waitress is going to do that?
He said, and you think the pretty waitress is going to do that?
Oh.
And use the time he's got left. Ask the trainers for a budget. I don't know, swimming with Dolph, nice sexy lap dance.
Katrina Clarke?
Take him places, make him laugh.
That list could do more than that. What if it could make him change his mind?
Yay! Oh! She's expanding his horizons, but also her horizons.
So in the book, she signs up for like a quadriplegic group, and then she gets like advice from them and like activities that they would want to do and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha. This doesn't have as many characters, so it's independent research.
Yeah. Well, she does independent research too in the book, but she also signs up for online like group.
Yes, but we haven't succeeded. Prepared to do, then that's all for the good, surely. I'd love to see him do any of these things.
Okay. Well, Louisa, if you can get me a schedule, I'll...
Let him do it for himself. Will needs to be allowed to feel like a man.
Oh, his dad is supporting him.
Yeah, his dad is, as I feel like, always supported him, but he just putting what Will wants before himself, whereas in his mom is just like doesn't want to let him go.
Right. Two different ways of caring about it, basically. Oh, now she's really committed to him. Oh. I mean, that's a big thing. Someone's life is literally in your hands.
God, what have you come as?
Haircut.
You look like a mad woman.
We're taking Nathan to see the horse racing.
Horse racing?
Yeah, Nathan's never been. And besides, I've got my dad's mate Jimmy says he's a sure thing.
But you haven't been racing before either, have you, Clarke?
The perfect...
You ever been horse racing?
No. Have you?
No.
It'll be fine. It's gonna be great. Oh, do we...
You've fallen on a push.
Talk about embarrassing.
Yeah, he's stuck.
No, it's gonna be fine. Would you be able to help us with the... No, we're fine. Yeah.
It sucks to need to ask people for help or something like that.
Hella embarrassing for him.
So much. Thank you. Thanks. It's gonna be fun. Look. Like a sure thing. Huh? How would you know that?
He's got a funny walk.
So you know everything about horse racing too?
Process information and make decisions.
Sometimes you just have to go with your gut. I'm gonna go and place my bet.
They're lining up the gate now. Good to see my blue heaven back after injury. They're under starter's orders.
The largest binoculars ever.
Already taking a good pace on the inside with this Jim. Just the man apparently having a day off. Now 8 to 12. The rest of the field are now making their way straight to the track space.
Yeah, I love being spoon-fed in public.
Hello.
This restaurant's for premier badge holders.
Pink
badges.
I'm Premier badge holders.
Any other restaurants?
And there are stores outside. Does a nice hog roast in a bomb?
Sharon, can I call you? So it's a quiet Monday afternoon and you've got a lot of empty tables. We want to buy a really expensive meal. We don't want to eat applesauce.
I'm really sorry.
So how much for a Premier area badge?
You'll have to go to the ticket office.
We've come all this way.
Louisa.
Well, I'm just gonna run and get the bar meal, and we'll be fine once we've eaten.
I think Will wants to go home.
You know what, Sharon? Premier badge right up your relaxed dining area.
You've been embarrassing him all day.
Horse racing wasn't my best idea, but this I think you'll enjoy.
So Nathan's never been to a classical.
No, I haven't. Will you please come with me? I bought the tickets a week ago.
A wind concerto.
Sure, it doesn't involve farting.
There's no chance of Jay-Z.
His tickets had just sold out.
Mozart it is then.
So I feel like he handled that pretty well after that embarrassing day, which made me feel good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past him to just want to go back to his hole.
It's too booby.
Way too booby.
Oh, you're so annoying.
With Will Trainer. Get the red dress out.
Really?
She got a whole boyfriend, bro. Promoting the cheating is
It's not a
disgusting.
date. It's not. She's joking.
Nah, she dead ass.
She's joking.
What do y'all think, chat?
Lose the scarf.
The scarf, why?
I think the scarf looks
If
good
you
on
wear
her.
a dress, you have to wear it with confidence.
I agree with that.
Tell a woman how to wear a bloody dress.
So beautiful. And he has a sharp haircut.
Is that what she was wearing in? Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
outfit
this
she's
is
wearing in
the-
the poster.
That's that.
Yeah.
Very intimate concert. Not like on a stage or anything. I think that makes it really good for this type of role where it's just him watching her do a lot of stuff. It was a good date. No, not a date. It was a good interaction with the two of them because it's not cheating when you work for this guy and his family.
I don't know. The mindset kind of look a little suspicious.
Hated every minute.
Yeah, I could tell. Especially during that oboe solo.
I loved it. Did you?
Yeah.
Right, well, we better get you in. You okay?
I don't want to go in yet. I just want to be a man who's been to a concert with a girl in a red dress.
Mm.
Oh, he's liking her. It's nice that he's sitting up front now too.
Good observation.
Getting a little bit of control back in his life.
Patrick wants to meet you. I think he wants to know who I'm spending all these late nights with. My parents do too.
When a girl asks me to meet her parents.
Me to invite you to my... Don't worry, I said you wouldn't want to go.
Why?
Because you hate strangers, so you don't like eating in front of people.
I'll come, if you want me to.
Oh, she's so happy.
Oh! I'll open it. I had it made specially.
Thank you, Patrick. Oh.
Oh, wow. Something for you in my bag as well.
It's very kind of you.
Kind, Bernard.
That's very kind.
No, he doesn't like him. Because he's all richy and...
Who doesn't like whom?
The dad doesn't like Will because he...
I think he does.
Well, he doesn't like the fact that he's part of the reason he lost his job. Or his company went under.
Oh my god, I don't believe it! But where did you get that? Best pair of tights ever! I'm gonna go try the one. Oh,
No, she's wearing the perfect outfit.
how much I love them. Thank you.
She ain't gonna run put on that necklace, tell you that.
It says Patrick's name in it. Oh.
Thank you, Josie. It's good to meet you all. Patrick, thank you for the fitness advice.
Just helping my girlfriend get the best out of her job.
Oh, you're a lucky man. She certainly gives a good bed bath.
He's like fighting him now. Oh my goodness.
He's about to cry.
Oh. That almost made her crack up.
She kind of like it.
Oh, yes, because Patrick sucks.
Indeed.
And she's realizing it, especially now that there's another contender.
Tomorrow, or there's a sculpture park we could visit. Tasting.
This came. Can I take you somewhere?
Mm.
First kiss I ever had was on...
Probably didn't hurt that you owned the castle.
They own the castle?
Your dad needed a job, mine needed a head of maintenance.
Just a bit.
It's good. Your dad'll be great. And it means... Well, it means without worrying about everyone else. Put yourself first for once.
Will's the GOAT.
Hello.
Michael Lawler, here to see Mr. Trainer?
You've got the wrong door. He lives...
It's okay, Clarke. How was traffic, Michael?
Once you're out of London.
We'll sit in the courtyard. You can leave us. Thanks, Clarke. How have you been?
Oh.
Nosy as hell.
I thought he seemed happy, laughing.
Me too.
Well, thank you for telling me. Louisa.
Yeah.
You will look after him at the wedding, won't you?
That's him.
Yeah.
He needs to accept his new self.
It's hard too, because like all his favorite memories are in his old body, and he doesn't want to replicate those memories because they're gonna override the other ones he had.
Oh my god. So he's going to his ex-girlfriend. So I can't believe I guess, do you invite him? Do you not invite him? I don't know.
I think you invite him just so you look good, and then just hope he doesn't come.
Right. And yet he's there. And he probably thought that, you know,
Look
she
at
would
his
walk down.
facial.
Well, he's sad. He
No,
wanted
that's
her.
a great acting. Like, he looks like he's about to bawl.
Yeah. Losing your girlfriend. Like, he
No
didn't
sweat.
die. And she knows he tried to get himself back to normal. He wanted to be himself again. She did not stick it out.
Terrible shame.
Well, he's not dead.
They're
Right,
all
for her, not
terrible
him.
finance bros.
No, Rupert's an arsehole. You take care of him. He's a good one. 4 marriages and counting.
Oh, love that. What a scene. What a scene. Oh. And she tried to keep him safe, and he listened, and then he got hit by the thing.
It was a lovely day. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. You remember Louisa?
Oh, yes, yes. Anyway, you're a real star for being here. And
Mirror.
yes, the mirror. Absolutely love that mirror.
You didn't buy her a mirror. Okay, you. And what do you say? You gonna give me a whirl?
How many of those did you drink?
In the book, she got drunk by an accident.
It sounds like she kind of by accident.
Like, she didn't realize they were all alcohol, so she drank a lot in the book.
Right, well, that's what it sounded like.
You never would have been looking at these breasts if you hadn't been in a wheelchair. You wouldn't. You would have been too busy looking at the leggy blonde. I would have been over there serving the drinks.
Yes, but in my defense.
Oh, but now he's realizing that he can be better.
You are pretty much the only thing that makes me want to get up in the morning.
Oh!
Say yes, Will.
Okay. These two gotta be in another movie together.
Cycling, and you know I do. But there's this trip I've got to go on with Will.
Get an agency nurse.
Well, 'cause it's my job.
Huh? What is this, Lou? It's take priority over everything these days.
Important, okay? Trust
It's
me.
Norway. It's meant to be our holiday.
No, it's not. It's your triathlon. Good for her. Good for you, Lou.
All my boys gaslight. Let me stop.
Literally. It's supposed to be all holiday.
The
It's your
iPhone 3?
triathlon. He's sick. Oh, no. They had too good of a time.
He's stable.
I only had a cough on Saturday morning.
Any bacteria hits him hard?
Can I go in?
Oh, Camilla's with him. Just leave her to it. It's his 4th bout in 2 years. The last one nearly killed him.
Everybody left and she's still there.
Oh, his mom's still there.
How's he doing?
He's a little better, I think.
Would you like me to take over for a while?
I would really like to change my clothes.
I thought you meant Lords or something. Hot tub under the stars. Jeez. Swim with dolphins. 4-hour room service. This isn't work. Do you really expect me to just sit here while you swan off with another man on a...
Trick, this is really important.
Do you know how this feels? I'm running permanently.
He's so not understanding.
Everyone seems to know what it is except me. We've been together, Lou. You've known him 5 months.
But he needs me.
I don't.
I'm sorry.
No, because you don't prioritize her. You won't hang out with her unless you're doing your things. How dare he be mad? Yeah, he's not even trying to understand what she's going through.
I think
Good for her.
I think like a degree of what he was saying makes a lot of sense, but he put himself in a situation and he's not seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Like, if he treated her well, and if he wasn't like on his deathbed or whatever, then it would make him a lot more sense. But the fact that he treated her like crap, and this dude is literally
she should have broken up with him regardless of anything.
Yeah, she deserves better for sure. He's realizing things way too late.
Yes.
The 5 months she had with him is probably far beyond the 7 years she had with Patrick.
Bienvenue.
What a goddess.
Don't go back to your room tonight, Clarke.
Oh my god.
Imagine she just said psych.
Aww.
My boy.
Yay. In the middle of a thunderstorm.
His lower body can't move, but I don't know. It's not moving down there.
Oh my god, he's smiling. He's happy.
Why didn't you make me do that earlier? That was amazing!
People just won't be told.
I don't want to go home. This has been the best. You're glad you came, right?
Yes. Come with me.
I thought that I was...
Nothing was ever going to change my mind. The parents 6 months, that's what I've given them.
No, don't say another word. I'm so selfish. Do all my heart out and all you can say is no. And now you want me to come and watch. Do you have any idea what you're asking? Never taken this stupid job. I wish I had never met you.
No. She doesn't mean it. You just broke her heart. Oh!
It was gut-wrenching.
How dare he? Saying all that as though it's so matter of fact. I get where he's coming from, but you can't say that and not expect her to be upset. Will you come watch me kill myself? What?
You alright?
Fine.
Just like that, a beautiful, amazing trip.
Right, well when it ends with, come watch me die by choice.
Can you pull me?
I'm surprised you didn't cry, honestly.
In my head.
Imagine how awkward it would be if you just woke up.
It wouldn't be awkward. Everything they had was real. I mean, just imagine when all of everything you've put in to making this person want to live and enjoy life, and then they just look you in the eye in your most vulnerable moment and say, nothing, like, everything you did is not worth it.
Swimming too, eh?
Yeah, hey, it was great.
How was the flight?
Well, we got here in one piece.
Are you hungry? We could eat at the restaurant in the end. Louisa, let me give you a hand with those.
I need to get home.
Oh, come on.
Let it go.
Is there always answers?
What did my idiot son say to you?
Bit peculiar, innit?
Louisa.
Wait, you don't need to pay me.
It must be hard for them too, because they were just excited to go get dinner and everything, and see everything
Well,
was.
they're
and
excited because they thought that if he's willing to do all of this,
Yeah,
everyone
definitely.
wants him to live.
And so now, like,
And he is so dead set on not doing that.
so like now what do you do?
And now
as them,
everyone's sad. And they're like, okay, it's literally your choice.
like, do you still get dinner after that? Like, it's crazy. They were just so pumped.
Oh, and now she's back home for her.
Sit down, Josie, love, please.
And his parents know? I mean, what kind of people are they?
Mrs. Traynor doesn't know what else she can do.
Some choices you don't get to make. He's not in his right mind.
Mum.
It is not. It's simple. You can't be a part of this. It's no better than murder.
In the book, the mom doesn't talk to Louisa for quite some time.
Because of this?
Mm-hmm.
Because what? Because Luisa's...
Was working and knowing that was what they were trying to do, and for
Oh.
supporting Will.
But ever persuade that man once he'd set his mind to something?
I mean, what can you do?
No one could have done more than you, Castle, and I love you for it.
Mr. Trainer.
They left this morning.
Dad, have I made a huge mistake?
Call them. You still have time.
Lots of Ed Sheeran.
I was gonna say that. He must have been popping around this time or something, right? 2016.
Did they drive to Switzerland?
No, I think she's taking her to the airport. And now this is her after the airport.
You're here to make my last cup of tea.
I'm here to kidnap you. I'm gonna take you to,
Where?
Well, my mum and dad's haven't quite decided yet.
Open the doors, Clarke.
Her eye color's nice.
Gorgeous.
Come here.
Meanwhile, you got the parents listening in
Is
the other
it
room.
selfish or selfless? I don't know. I mean, he did say he wants her to be able to explore things, not be tied to him. What if that's what she wants?
It's like they both have to be selfless in a way, and both have to be selfish in a way.
Right. You need to let the other go. But what if... It's like Romeo and Juliet. It's like you gotta let the other go, and then you... But what if all you guys want is just each other?
I can't.
I need to see that face.
Tough.
I need to see that face of yours. Pink and blotchy.
You really are the most impossible man.
Better place without me.
No, it won't.
Don't be sad, Clarke.
Tell me something good.
Oh.
I changed their mind.
Will you stay?
For as long as you want me to.
Stay and then what? And then he just dies?
Till death do us part.
Yeah, but not voluntary death. What about the living part? Stay. Make it work.
Can you call my parents in?
He's gonna stay! You have to stay. Dramatic scene. What happens? And the leaf falls on him in his chair while they're frolicking.
A few weeks should have passed by the time you read this. On one of those chairs that never sit quite level on the pavement. Across the bridge to your right, you will see luck. You should try the scent called Papillon Extreme. There are a few things, because you would have got all emotional and you wouldn't have let me finish. Laura will give you access to a bank account and for you to sit around for the rest of your life, but at least from that little town we both call home. Live boldly, Clarke. Don't settle. Wear those stripy legs with pride when you still have possibilities as a luxury. Knowing I might have given them to you, as you are scored on my heart, Clarke. Don't think of me too often. I don't want you getting sad. Just live well. Just live. I'll be walking beside you every step of the way. Love, Will.
There she goes in front of me.
So she just went to all the places he mentioned in the letter: the bridge, the perfume shop, the cafe.
He gave her a life.
Did you think when he said Gaz's parents that he was gonna change his mind?
I hope so.
Yeah, that was an interesting perspective.
Know. I didn't know he was really gonna commit to that. Like, I know it said that he was so set on it, but everyone was saying, your dad, you should go, still you should go. You know, you didn't fail yet, nothing happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, that's our reaction. Now let's jump into the review.
Oh, that's a sad movie.
You want like tissues or something?
I have some. I was hoping he was gonna live. And they'd be together. I know it makes sense that he died, that he did that. He could have lived a great life. But he gave her independence. Oh, I did not know that's how it ended.
It's a really sad ending, right? That's why it's like.
Right. I don't think I knew about the whole suicide part of the movie. Okay, we can do the review. I'm just gonna keep talking about it otherwise.
Yeah. No, already.
Just getting this out of my ear.
Yeah, that's a good point. They actually started already because I wanted to get your initial reactions, which is the first question.
Okay.
Okay, so
what are mine?
feel free to rant. Your initial reaction. You said you could keep talking if you wanted, but
Yeah, well, so I said I saw like the first part of the movie. I don't think I ever knew about the suicide part of it. I just knew that he was quadriplegic and she was like Little Miss Sunshine, and that was like the premise of them falling in love, and Patrick sucks. But I didn't realize that the whole underlying thing was that it was the suicide, or was the assisted suicide, I guess. That's really, I don't know. I know that's like a thing. I feel like I've heard about that with like old people, like if you get really like sick or, you know, like terminal illness and stuff. But I don't know. He was like fully okay in the mind, and like they talked about that. Like he was finance broy with these like broy people who sucked. No one was good. That's what the godmother said. Everybody was awful. I mean, the freaking ex-girlfriend who married the other guy was like, you know, I don't know. It's just so, no one was nice. And then he like becomes nice and starts to like mend his ways and is trying to go back to his old self so much and doesn't. And just won't let that go. And like, and I understand the health risks, but I don't know, if your family can afford to keep you like that, like, cutting life short is tough.
yeah, I think the biggest thing was he just wasn't happy, like no matter what people were doing for him, or he just could never stop thinking about his old self and knowing that everything he did from that point on wasn't as good as it used to be. And so like even his favorite memories, he was saying he doesn't want to replicate it because it's just going to only make him like forget the old stuff and remember the struggles that he's going to have now with like fitting his wheelchair behind desks or tables and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's something you learn over time. Like, you let it go. I don't know, you just have to adapt to this new form of life. Like, I can imagine how terrible it is, but also, like, I don't know, there's so much good to life that you can still experience.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the sad parts of this movie is that that's a lot of people's perspective, like in his life,
yeah,
and that's not his perspective. Like, and nothing was worth it to him, and I think that's one of the biggest things from the book. I think was like this was his first and only decision he made for himself in the book, whereas in everything else he was living through other people and he just wasn't happy. So, yeah,
that's true. I mean, I can't imagine. That's true. All of this is from a perspective of someone who's not going through it, and obviously, you know, in this story he is, and he to not be able to do anything for yourself. That's a tough life.
Yeah. Yeah, and the movie's just. I remember when I first saw this movie, I think I was like, my eyes were sweating.
Your eyes were sweating?
Like, this movie is like so different than the rest, I feel like, with like the sad ending, where I feel like a lot of the movies that I've seen don't have an ending like this. No, sorry. Well, actually, a fair amount of them probably do, but I don't know, this one just felt so different to me. Like, the quality just seemed so like rich, and like it took you on a road where you thought he would actually change his mind and he didn't, and that's like the saddest part. And it just like, oh man,
like there's multiple opportunities for like a happy ending, but that's the thing, it's like, what do you define as a happy ending? Because then in a way this is a happy ending. He just gave her the opportunity for a new life that she couldn't afford before, and she gave up her ability to go to school for her sister to go to school, and she gave up lots of, you know, just things this entire time. And so it's really nice that yeah, I like, it's nice, it's a nice ending. And the fact that they find each other in this way, even at the wedding they say that it's like there's no universe in which we would have met in your past life, and now here we are. And I don't know, I kind of like, though, like what you mentioned about the dad having an affair in the book. I'm kind of glad that he didn't in the movie. Like, that just, A, would have been a whole different plot line, but B, like, I don't know, the parents really seemed to try to, like, they had different perspectives, but they did what was in the best interest of Will this whole time, which I really, like, appreciated. I don't know, initially they made him seem kind of, like, absent and stuff, but towards the end he really was like, if this is what he wants, like, it is what it is, and they were both there for him.
Yeah. And something else that the book mentioned that wasn't in here was that like when Patrick and Louisa were having like a little argument, she like told him in confidence, like, hey, this is the reason why this is so important, like Will's gonna kill himself. And he when they got into another argument after, he told people, and it broke all over the news. And so like book 2 starts with like,
oh, there's 2 books.
or there's 3, I think. Either book 1 ends,
and then it goes into Louisa's life.
Yeah. But like a whole big thing is like the police and stuff investigating like if what they did was like moral and stuff like that. And like
Whoa.
they get like a lot of like hate mail, like the trainers get a lot of like hate mail and stuff like that because they allowed him to do it.
Yeah.
So that's like a whole big thing in the book, or like Patrick told the media, and so like the media just blows up Louisa's house, like trying to interview her and stuff like that and ask questions, and Patrick's even worse in the book.
Yeah. Right. So that would be did you read the other books as well?
I read the second one. The third one I started and then just like I read like 10 pages.
That's a lot. Wow. I'm glad that they ended it there. Like, let him choose his own thing. I know that's a whole like ethical dilemma, but
yeah,
I don't know if he's gonna. If he wants to, like, if that's what he wants. Clearly, he's of the sound mental state to make that type of decision.
Yeah. All right. So why did I choose this movie? I chose this movie because it's literally like tied for my favorite movie ever, and I really wanted you to see it. This movie, like I was watching it, I got goosebumps not only in my arms but on my legs. I don't know if that's weird to some people, but like usually when I say I got goosebumps, it's only on my arms. But like this movie gives me goosebumps on my legs too, which is crazy. But yeah, I love this movie and I really wanted you to see it. And so I know we've been talking about this for a while and finally able to do it today. So that's the reason why I chose this movie, because it's an amazing movie. I feel like not enough people talk about it. If you were to go on like YouTube, Me Before You reactions, in my opinion, not enough videos are up there acknowledging this movie for its greatness. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to choose this movie and wanted to watch it with you specifically, because I know you like romance like me. So really wanted to put you on.
Yeah. What parts give you goosebumps in particular?
I don't know. It's like when Will was talking, for the most part. I think I was trying to like vocalize it in the video when I was getting goosebumps. But I think like just hearing him talk, or like when it got like really deep with like what's his name? Oh shoot, now I'm forgetting. Is his name Taylor? The guy worker? I'm forgetting his name. When he was explaining to Louisa that like he has like a spinal issue and like people haven't fixed spines or figured out spines. Like it was like those like deep moments where like Louisa wasn't expecting someone to say something. Nathan, yes. Like those moments were some of like the moments I was getting like my goosebumps, and or like at the very end when he was reading the letter to her and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that they did it in that reveal sequence of like her finding out why he is the way he is over time. It's like, oh, he put in a year of work to try to get back to the way he was. Oh, he lost all of his friends and loved ones to this, like, and just like he tried to kill himself before because he was so sad about this. There is no cure. Like her finding out those things each step of the way helped her like empathize with him, and then him learning, like, just I like the way that they revealed it. I feel like we got the full picture too. So similar to what you're saying of like those moments where it's like, oh wow, okay, we're learning more about Will, and this is like shows the heaviness of what he's actually going through.
Yeah. So what thoughts does this movie make you think about?
It makes me think about the idea of like an imbalanced relationship in this way. Like on social media and stuff, I don't know if you've seen any people, but there's like I've seen like 2 couples that are like, actually it happens to be both the husbands in this case. Both the husbands are like quadriplegic to some degree, or just like severely disabled, and you know their wives are always saying like, we want to be here, like this is, you know, this is not a issue, that, you know, it's just something that we live with, and that whole thing. And just to have that, like, what type of power dynamic that must create, or like emotional labor dynamic, like, I don't know, because I feel like there's a lot of things in a relationship as is that is challenging, and like where do you draw the line between caretaker and like spouse, and I don't know, like, because when it comes to emotional support, you know, as long as you're like fully mentally there, like you can have that, and that's what we saw in the movie. Like they had that emotional connection, and that seemed like shares of hopes and dreams, and you know, issues with the town that they're in, whatever. But then like when it comes to actually executing stuff, he's just held back all the time, and so that was a big reason why he ended it. But yet you see a lot of people in real life who are very willing to be with somebody in that circumstance. And like, I don't know, what if you were with someone and like his ex-girlfriend who then gets married to his best friend? Like, do you leave someone in that situation? That whole dynamic, I think, is very interesting, and it feels very easy to be like, yeah, of course I would stay with this person, and like that whole thing. But I don't know, it seems very complicated.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't consider that. So like, this movie makes you think about a lot, and I guess one of the things I want to highlight is just like bringing situations like this into the real world, where like even taking a step back from quadriplegic people, like just people in general having their own thoughts of how they want to live their life or not live their life. Like, think about people battling with like depression and stuff like that. Like, to at what lengths do people like face the dilemma on helping someone versus encouraging them to keep going versus being upset if they don't decide to keep going? Like, I feel like just for most people, and it's just my speculation, it'd be much easier to support someone that's quadriplegic, because you can like imagine like, oh wow, this person is really like, literally can't move their body. I can understand why they would want to end their life, even though I'm not okay with it. I can understand it. Whereas if you take a step back, think about like something like depression, where it's a mental thing and you can't see from the outside. Like, I'm sure people don't have the same perspective with that. Like, they're probably a little less forgiving with someone who tries to make their own decisions, or I don't know, it's just harder to really see. So it's interesting how different like crippling diseases or whatever you want to call it, physical restraints can kind of dictate a certain answer in response to people. And I wonder if we ever get to the point where as a society like we all think uniformly, or if there's always going to be like contrary like opinions on how to handle something. And I'm sure that's always going to be the case. Like, people are always going to be on different sides of things, but it's just interesting how, like, for lack of a better term, like you see like a quadriplegic going through it and you can like, okay, I can understand it, whereas there's plenty of people who like suffer from like other diseases, not even like depression, just other diseases like cancer or something like that, and it's just like, what do you do for those situations? So I don't know.
I feel like when, like, you make a really good point too, the physical versus emotional. Like, if somebody is physically struggling, then you can be like, oh, okay, these are physical things I can do to help them, regardless of like that. And I think that's why when it's strictly emotional, it's even harder to know what to do. And like you're saying, like someone with cancer, something where it's like you physically cannot help them, then it's like, okay, I don't know how to, like, I don't know that, like, even as a society, we're taught how to, like, emotionally support people during that kind of thing. And that's why even, like, he was saying earlier, like, oh, well, are you going to look up a support group? Are you look up that type of thing? But, like, connecting with people who've gone through the same thing is probably helpful. And then the other point that you made that I wanted to touch on was the standard, like, so you were talking about like the standard he had for himself in relation to other people. Like, I can't be the person I was for other people, but also like for himself. And similar with like, you know, people battling with like mental illness type of things. Like, I think that's a big thing. If I want to be this way and I can't be that way now, and just feeling like so stuck. And that really came across. And for him, it was because of his physical limitations, but yeah, this story is actually probably a lot farther reaching when you frame it like that, because anyone who has that blocker of like, this is how my life was, this is how my life could be, and I'm just not there, and I don't see how I can get there ever, and like, if you have no hope, then that's how you end up in like that situation.
Yeah, because like even like just hearing you talk about it, like the whole thing was really him being quadriplegic and wanting to end his life because of it. But they don't really touch on, like, he was probably depressed because he was quadriplegic. Like, they don't touch 100%. On that part of the mental. So yeah, he probably, like, the correlation to people viewing this or the creators making are probably like, oh, quadriplegic, assisted suicide. When it's quadriplegic, probably like some type of sort of depression, assisted suicide. So it's like deeper than just being quadriplegic in my eyes. So yeah, I didn't. Damn, this gets deep. Yeah, just hearing people. Oh, damn. All right. So the feelings that this film created for me personally, I feel like it was like a rainbow of feelings, where like there was parts that made me crack up, and like some parts I try to hold back from cracking up because I didn't want to like spoil anything like that. But like I was like cracking up when, for example, when they went to that orchestra thing, and he had like the tag in his thing.
Yeah.
And she said, "Thing like let's just be grateful it wasn't in your trousers." Like something like so silly as that just makes me crack up. But then obviously the movie makes me extremely sad with like how it ends up with, you know, them falling in love with each other, and then like him choosing to continue on his path. So a whole wide of range of emotions for me personally, but that's why one of the reasons I love this movie so much. It's not one dimensional. Like it makes you feel a lot, and the humor itself was just really great humor. Like it wasn't, at least to me, it wasn't cringe humor or anything like that. It was just very realistic, very natural humor that I feel like I would have when talking to people like this. So I think I appreciated it more too.
Yeah, what I liked a lot is that I didn't feel like it had a predetermined ending. I felt very hopeful throughout the whole thing that he would change his mind. That's what we were talking about before also, of like at any point, like when they were on the beach he could have changed his mind. When they were, even that last scene when they were in the bed, like he was in the bed, he could have changed his mind. And when the lawyer came, he could have changed, like so many different points that you really didn't know, or I didn't know that he was going to choose that. Truly, I was really hopeful. I think that's what made it at the end, like that last scene, so sad, was that I was like, but we were so close, like. And so I think there was a lot of joy and hope in such a sad story, which was like an interesting, you know, the whole time was certainly not sad. The vast majority of it was very like happy and exciting, and you're watching him go from like being rude to everyone, very miserable, very depressed, to like finding the joy in life. Everyone telling Louisa, look, like you're the first one who's making him smile, taking him out, doing all these things, like, and there's so much humor and build up to that, and that's why when like that last like crash, I think, makes it feel so sad at the end.
That's a good point, because like you have the whole time people like hyping her up and like telling her like, hey, like we're noticing him being different, and so she's like feeling good about herself, she's noticing it herself, and so she's like, her positive charisma is just rubbing off on him, and he's just visually happier. For her to all of a sudden hear that it wasn't enough,
right?
I think that's one of the hardest parts, and I can only imagine how that must make her feel. Like when you were mentioning during the reaction, like she poured her heart out to him, and he quite literally said like, that's not enough for me. Like that's heartbreaking. Like I understand where he was coming from, but like just hearing that at that moment is definitely not something you would want to hear.
Yeah,
so
she was being so vulnerable.
Yeah,
she was like, I want to be with you, I'll do this all for you, and he's like, no, sorry. That's tough.
Yeah. So what ideas, characters, or moments would you say resonated with you, and why?
I really liked the contrast of the families. And I think that's something like, even just like a broader society standpoint of like, you know, smaller, poorer family, you know, like versus like really rich family in a literal castle, like, and seeing that contrast of, and I think that's some, you know, probably like a common trope in films and stuff, but I liked that, like, it still showed conflict within both of the homes. It didn't show like, oh, like Luisa's family doesn't have as much money, but everybody loves each other and everyone's so happy. It's like, no, she still had Patrick, and her sister was still struggling, and the financial struggles really did have an impact on like each other. They were still very there for each other, but it definitely like held them back. Whereas like, you know, Will's family did have the means, and it did allow them to do more, but at the same time, like, he still had support. Like, it just showed like they both had support from their parents, even though like their means were so different. So it was kind of like, we're not necessarily so different, but also it showed the sheer influence that his family had. I just thought that whole contrast the whole time was very interesting, and then the point of like they wouldn't have met had it not been for this job, and him being quadriplegic and all of that was also very like, it like humbled him a lot, of like, okay, I'm not as powerful as I thought I was, and this, you know, I can't do the things here that I wanted to, and yeah, I don't know. And when he went to go visit her family, like, he didn't treat them like a charity case, or, you know, he got the dad the job, which was, I think her reaction was very valid there. I don't know, that whole like sequence I thought was very interesting, of him going to the family and being received so well, and they were so welcoming. And even still, like, the mom and dad were quite welcoming of Louisa, too. Granted, it was under being hired, but they weren't like, oh, you know, at no point was there like, oh, she's X, Y, and Z. Like, there wasn't a lot of judgment on either end, and there was more similarities than differences, I think, in their two like households. I think that was very all over the place, but
no, I think that was great. I think that was great. Yeah, that's what's beautiful about this movie, because you can just like talk. At least for me, I can just talk all day about everything, and that's why like I'm going through like a list of these questions, and there's like so many answers I can give, and I'm just like, for the time's sake, like I'm just gonna give one. Like there's so many moments or characters that resonate with me. I think the one I just want to highlight is just Luisa's determination of like just always being locked in, and then always trying to put like others first in a way. So like she was just so energetic all the time, no matter how Will was treating her in the beginning. Like she just continued to steer the course. Like obviously she would go home feeling beat up, but every day when she walked in, she had the same face of just like, today's a new day. I thought that was like really powerful, because I like to think that when I have a goal, I like to be locked in like that. But then also something that resonated with me was Will, when he was just at one point in time just saying yes because it's what she wanted to do. Like I feel like that's something that I do often. Like I say yes to like please other people and do what they want to do. And then eventually he started actually liking it. But I feel like that resonated with me as well. Where like you could just tell like he was just doing it because he already made up his mind, which is clear at the end of the movie. Like he never strayed from his thought process, but he still willingly did things that he probably didn't care too much for in the beginning to please Louisa and her goal setting. So out of the whole film, what would you say your favorite moment is?
Okay, I think I have two. The first one, the scene with the bride's godmother. For whatever reason, that really stuck out to me, and I not only because it was very funny, but I thought it was just very telling of like Louisa, and it gave her just more of that context of like, similar to what you were talking about before, of like what were the parts that gave you goosebumps. Is when you learn more about Will. It's like this is one of those times where it's like, oh yeah, his friends suck, and like nobody is that supportive of each other. Like all of those kind of negative things that went down around him, and why he was left alone in that way, and having her kind of get that extra layer of like understanding through this third party source of like, oh, he was one of the good ones, she really had a chance with him. And especially when she was like, oh yeah, it was really a loss, and then Louisa says, oh well, he's not dead, and she said no, it was her loss. That's the first time that somebody's acknowledging that, because this whole time that bride was like, oh, it's such a shame, like I couldn't be there for you, like when we were grieving your situation, whatever. And he's like, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm perfectly fine, like, you know, like I'm very capable. And just to be abandoned like that, to pretty much have this woman be like, oh yeah, it was very stupid of her to leave, like that. I thought that was a very like, yeah, it was. And then Louisa had that whole moment with him on the dance floor and all that, and that was really sweet. I really enjoyed that whole like series of events, especially after they like went to the wedding together. The other thing was those bumblebee tights. That was so cute.
Which part? When she like got it initially from
and then the callback at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, just the whole series there of like, oh, and then when they're in the bed at the very end and he sings this song, it's just like having that comment of, you know, more about her childhood being something like he cared to remember and then act on. Just showed how sweet he was.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna give two too, and I'll preface by saying these might be like my two favorite in general, no matter how many times I watch it. But I love this movie so much that also might not be the case. Because I'm thinking of a favorite moment, and I'm just like, yo, I love this whole movie. Like, it's hard to pinpoint two, but I think I was able to pinpoint two. First one being when they're on the cliffside, when he's like first telling her, essentially saying like he remembers his favorite memories and he doesn't want to relive those moments because they're gonna alter. And then the second one, shoot, what was it? I was trying to remember the whole time, because the one I just said now was the second idea that came to my mind. The first initial favorite moment that I had was when they came back from the horse racing.
Yeah.
And that he was just really like pissed off, as he should be, like very embarrassed. But like her like asking, hey, can you go to this? And she's like, oh, let me guess, Nathan never been there. And she's like, no, it's for me. And like his like quick analysis and just willingness to like suck up what just happened and just be positive. I thought that was like a turning point for Will specifically. Not that he wasn't doing things earlier, but there, like, he just had all the reason to be a pessimist or like an angry person, and just quickly turned off the anger and just was there for Louisa. And he was like, oh, like making jokes about like, are we gonna see Jay-Z at least? And so I think those two are my favorite moments because I feel like they're really powerful. Like you got an insight on Will, on like how he's the way he is, and then to the whole movie, like the first third of the movie, he's just an angry person, and then this opportunity comes where Louisa's doing her best and she has a fail in her idea, but he doesn't let it revert him back to who he used to be. He's still a positive person.
Yeah, I agree. That is a really big turning point. I didn't think of it that way because at that point it was like, oh, just you know, she wants that. Of course you're gonna do it. But yeah, that he really did. It's a huge character growth.
Yeah, they warned her about the parking. She stubborn parked there anyways, and his parking got stuck.
Right.
So he needed people to help him out. Then I guess the horse racing
she was
itself.
Very stubborn that whole day.
But the meal,
yeah,
like that was embarrassing too. So, but yeah.
Right. She was just incredibly. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess it showed a flaw in her.
Yeah,
which is just her being very stubborn and not listening to him and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's trying so hard to make it perfect. Yeah.
Right. She's been very heroic otherwise, and I think that just showed a little bit of like, oh, she's a little petty and trying her best.
Yeah.
And
I think this was also like probably the first real event that they did with her under the mindset of I need to help him change his mind. That she went too far and put too much pressure on herself to make it perfect. So. Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
As for least favorite moments, I quite literally love this movie so much, like every part of it. I don't really have a least favorite moment, but I have to say something. It would just be Patrick, because he doesn't treat Louisa how she should be treated, and she's a queen of dragons, if you will. And so like I don't like how he mistreats her, but even in his mistreating and his way of being in this movie, she doesn't get to who she is today without him, because like she's able to see how great Will is. And so that's why even then, like it's hard for me to say that's the least favorite moment, but to just answer the question, if you're not taking no for an answer, that would be my answer. I loved everything else.
Yeah, I probably agree, but also like I don't know. I feel like having him as like the contrary, like or you know, someone to create some conflict. Antagonist. Thank you. Like yes, that I thought that actually made his role pretty valuable.
I agree.
So I was trying to think of like what's a least favorite moment, as in it like took away from the plot or it didn't like really contribute.
That's a good way of looking at it. That's how you should be looking at it. So I take back what I just said, honestly.
No, I think that's a very valid answer. That was my other thought process. It was just like, am I just gonna pick a moment like him inviting her to the Norway trip for him to do the triathlon? Like that's the least favorite moment for me. But then it brings her, you know, closer to Will. So. Does it balance out? I guess so. I don't know that I really have I don't think any of the moments really took away from the story, really. I think they kept it really focused in on like him and Clarke's relationship and like his, you know, struggle with everything and her struggle with it in turn. And I really enjoyed her relationship with her sister too. I know it was the least favorite part. I really don't know that I have like a least favorite part that detracted from it.
Yeah, I'm revising my answer to say that because I basically said that when I first prefaced my answer, but no, that's very genuine, and I think the whole point of answering these questions is to just be like technical in that regard of like what took away from the story or what angered you, whatever the case may be, and I'm just like I loved everything, and so. To the points on critique of Patrick, like those were there for a reason, and I didn't feel like they took away from anything. I thought they were very purposeful, and so, yeah, I agree. I didn't have any least favorite moments. Yeah. Thanks for steering me back on. So, would you say this movie impacts your life at all? If so, how?
I think it's just one of those movies where it's like be grateful for what you have, and how mindset is everything. Because and I think that's another fun thing that's contrasted. I know I've mentioned in the past answer like how their two households were kind of contrasted. The other thing was their disposition in being there. Like for Will, I'm out in the big city, like I don't have the freedom, you know, all this kind of stuff where, you know, Clarke was so confined also, but she found a lot of joy in it. and you can wake up in a worse situation and just find the joy in those things. Not that necessarily Will should have, because he had so many limitations, and I guess that's the big debate of the film, is did he make the right decision, or should he have done what he did. But it's, I think there's just a lot of gratitude that can be found in the day-to-day, and in bringing that joy to like your life. It will just spread to others. It's I guess hard. It's actually hard to do, though. I don't know, Louisa makes it look easy.
Yeah. I would say the biggest impact for me is, I don't know, I feel like the biggest impact for me would be to be mindful of like other people and everyone's situations, because you never know what people are going through. So I know we mentioned like emotional intelligence earlier. Essentially, like, try your best to be emotional intelligent and to just live life a day at a time, and understand that other people have different perspectives. And so even though if they don't have the same perspective as you, doesn't make it wrong. But to just do your best to be empathetic and try to meet people halfway and see where people are coming from. And at the end of the day, if you put your best foot forward, even if the result you get isn't what you wanted, I think, I don't know, like, you're your best self for going through it at the very end. So I think that's my biggest takeaway. So I know usually the next question is biggest takeaway. And when I first started YouTube, the answers between biggest takeaway and biggest impact were different initially. But as of recent, I've noticed a lot of my answers would be the same. So I'm going to officially remove this question from the movies that I react to in my reviews. So I know I'm going to mention this later on, but if you guys have any questions you recommend that I add to this list of questions, let me know. Looking for a new question to add to hopefully get to 11 questions. Otherwise, I'm going to try my best to find another question on Google. But that being said, would you rewatch this movie again?
Yes, I would. I will say, though, I liked not knowing the ending. I feel like rewatching it knowing that he chooses this is going to make it less like... That's, I think, one of the reasons, and I can talk about this more in my star rating of it, my numerical rating, but that's one of the things I really liked about it, is the whole time I was very engaged in the plot, because I didn't know what was going to happen. Like, if I knew at the first, 30 minutes that he was just going to end it all, then I wouldn't have been as invested. But I really had hope that whole time. So now going into it again, knowing he's going to do that, I don't know, but a lot of the scenes were very, fun and funny, and I like seeing their relationship, so I would watch it again.
That's actually a really good point. I think traditionally and objectively, something like that would definitely take away the rewatch value for me, but for some reason, this movie doesn't do it for me. I was
gonna say, that clearly has no impact.
I'm hooked. This is probably, my 15th time watching this movie, and maybe that's a stretch, maybe 10. But yeah, it's interesting, taking a step back and analyzing what you said, this would literally be something that would take away rewatch value for other movies. But for this one, it just doesn't do it for me. I just love this movie. And I think it's because the journey it takes you on is just so good. And, the highs and lows are just so high and low. And the quality of this movie in itself is just so freaking good. I love the quality of this movie. So I would definitely watch this movie again if it's not obvious. And now it's time for the infamous Rain rating, where we rate movies on a scale 1 through 11. Essentially, a scale 1 through 10, with 11 only being for the Mount Rushmore-esque best movies, Hall of Fame, most impactful, whatever you want to call it, your favorite movies of all time. So, as it comes to the 2016 film Me Before You, what would your Rain rating be?
10 out of 11. It doesn't make it to Mount Rushmore for me, I think.
Okay.
Maybe it could. I think maybe it's the rewatch, the lack of rewatch value to me that might change it. But also I haven't rewatched it, so I don't know. But I don't know. This is something that I would pick up on a rainy day, especially because it is very heavy at the end, and knowing that if I was to watch it again, knowing it would be sad, I think it's what takes away. But as a first time, full through watch of it, if this was a normal rating, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. So really, I guess technically the 11th point is a bonus point. So it's still 10 out of 10. It's 10 out of 10 to be clear. It's just whether the numerator goes up or not to 11. The denominator stays the same at 10. No extra credit for this one for you then. And I think one thing that's interesting too, and I don't know how your perspective is, but the rewatch value definitely takes a hit. I think objectively, I guess not for me. But something for me though, like this movie, like knowing how the journey it takes you on, it makes you even more excited to show someone who hasn't seen this movie before, more than other movies specifically. I'd be curious if you ever get to that point, like, I want to show you this movie, like, to one of your friends. But for me, you can only imagine my rating's gonna be an 11. I love this movie so much. Definitely one of my favorite movies of all time, if not number one, tied for number one. So love this movie a lot. I'm grateful to have your time in watching this today, and I hope that more people would watch this movie. I hope in the near future, when I type Me Before You reactions, there's gonna be a lot more options available. But yeah, that's my rating for Me Before You. And with that is our reaction and review of the 2016 film Me Before You. How do you guys think we did on our reaction? How do you guys think we did on our review? Were we too critical? Let us know down below. And if you really enjoyed it, please like it. I know we answered a bunch of questions. Let us know down below how you would answer these questions. I know one of my goals when creating this channel was to create a community of people who can come together and answer questions and really dive into deeper conversations of movies. So I'll have the questions in the description. Feel free to answer those down below. And if you have any questions you recommend I ask for further videos, let me know. But if there's any questions in particular you want me to answer for this movie, comment down below and I'll do my best to answer those. If you're enjoying my content, feel free to give a love tap to the subscribe button. And if you want to see more of my content, feel free to check out my Patreon link down below where you can see my full-length reaction. Lastly, if you want to stay up to date with me, turn on post notifications and check out my social medias down below. Thank you again for watching and your time today. If you want to see more standalone movies like this one, click here. And if you want to see whatever YouTube thinks you would like, click here. And if you want to be different, if you want to charter your own journey, check out the rest of my content on my page. See you on the next video.